So this is what I ended up with. And then on the other side also, that's the skinny side of the log, so it's cupped more. So hopefully I measured it right. You know, I took more off this, about 1.5 inches more down to compensate for the taper of the log. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, because we're working with timbers and stuff and not dimensional lumber. And I want to make it look nice and fit it decent. This is the first time I've ever done it, but I'm not going to sit here with a chisel and make it perfect. Well, like every project I do, I decided to go a different route. This was going to be a lean-to type woodshed, which actually makes good sense. The reason being is it'll use less wood of my tamarack trees. It'll shed the water off into the swamp. I won't have to worry too much about water. The only bad thing is it won't look really cool. So I was thinking about this week, and this is how I'm going to be looking at this for a long time. So I want to make a cool structure. I wanted to build this barn with these tamarack logs, but it would have been very difficult, the lengths of the beams and stuff like that. And plus I got all those posts for $5 a piece. I couldn't pass it up, they're all treated. So I didn't go that route. So now I want to build this like a mini barn, like I was going to do in the beginning. And that way I'll be able to enjoy it for years to come, you know what I mean? Looking at it and what I did instead of just making a boring lean-to. So I'm going to use more wood and spend probably twice as much time building it. Time that I don't have. But it's going to be here for who knows how long, you know, 20, 30 years, whatever. Probably more. So what I'm going to do now is put 2 beams going across the sides. On top of those beams, I'm going to put 2 more in the front and back, making just like a box, a square. And then I'm going to put a short support in the middle and then a shed roof off both sides. That's going to use more wood, more time, and also it's going to shed the water in the middle between the 2 barns, or between the shed and the barn. More water is going to drop here, and which isn't a good thing, but I'm going to rectify that by putting in gutters. I want to make a outdoor shower in between these 2 anyway, so I'm going to have some type of a water catchment system hopefully, and then even when we live here, we'll be able to take showers outside and save on our septic and stuff like that. Our holding tank, I should say. So, plus it'll be fun. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I got 2 of the notches cut already, and I just brought over the 2 side beams. I'm gonna put the bigger ends toward the front so they look bigger and stronger. And then this middle one here, that's gonna be the ridge pole. That's my largest beam. I think it'll look really cool with those sticking out. So we'll get started. To take these side beams and get them up here. I didn't want to drive the tractor and get them as close as I could because I'm just going to make giant ruts in the yard, even though it's already kind of tore up. At least I don't have deep ruts. So I'm going to move these by hand. My wife is working this weekend, so she's not up. I'm going to try to move these beams. This first beam over here, I already have the notches cut in the logs and hopefully lift it up by myself. We'll see. want about a foot overhang out the back, and we'll see what that gets me in the front. It should be about 2 feet. It wasn't that bad. It's about 6 right now, 6, 7. And that's 2 feet. I definitely have to move it back a little bit. I think I'm gonna get on the ladder and look at this log, kind of eye it up and see if I need to roll it to get it in a better position. Maybe it'll be a little straighter. To be honest, it looks pretty good. I think I'm just gonna move it back. All right, good deal. I had to turn it around a couple times. I'll show you in the front. That's where I cut the tree down off the stump. So I didn't cut it flush. I kind of wanted the look of that. You can see the shape of it. So I wanted to get the most length, so I had to flip it around so this part was flat instead of that angled part. That way I can put my rafter right tight to the edge. But as far as my notches for the logs, I think they came out pretty good for my first time. So I'm gonna put a level on it and see how out of whack it is. But it looks pretty good, just I guess going off of the roof line of the barn. I don't even really have to put a level on it. It's good. We're gonna call that done for that one. I'm gonna put a couple long 10-inch log screws in there to hold it. What I'm using is 10-inch long timber screws. And these are $1 a piece, I can't believe it. Over $1 a piece. But anyway, I couldn't get it in any further with a regular drill. So I'm gonna try this Bosch impact drill, this little guy, and see if it's got the power. That would be a no. Nuts. I can't really get my top log on here with these screws sticking out. I'll have to figure that one out. What I did last time to get the radius right is I used a gear tie. Because like I say, this isn't going to be perfect, you know, it's just a woodshed. But I want to try to get a radius right so it kind of fits in there nice. So I'm going to overhang it a foot, so I'm going to come back a foot. This is going to be the back of the log, and what I did was I wrapped this around, and I put my finger on this edge, the thumb, and this one I met so the two thumbs are in line, and then I can release it, come back, and then put where the two thumbs were in line again, and then try to twist that. So then that is about what the radius of the log is. I just set it up on the log and I trace that. So now I'm just going to trace this. Now the other one was a little bit thicker diameter on this end. This one's a little thinner, so I'm just going to cheat this one up a bit more. So hopefully they end up being level. So that's my redneck scribing method. It seemed to work on the last one, so we'll see if it works on this one. So now I'm going to kind of figure out the taper, because this front one has to be a deeper cut and farther down to compensate for the thickness of the log up there. And like I say, I'm not getting perfect on this. If it's an inch off, which it looks like it's about an inch off over on this one I just did, I'm not going to worry about that. If it's 2 inches, I might screw with it. I would have to take the log back down and then redo the notch and drop it, or one of the other side, to get it more level. Which this is about 5 3/4. And then the other side's going to overhang about 2 feet. So 2 feet back, I'm going to measure that. And whatever the difference is between 5 3/4 and that measurement, I'm going to drop this one that much more. So this tree at the base is kind of an oval, unfortunately. So I either get about 6.5 or 8 inches. So I think I'm going to go with the 8 inch or the 6.5 inch difference. That way, if I lay it that way, the log will be wider horizontally. But then again, it would be stronger if it was vertically. But I don't think I have to worry about that. I'd have more room for error if I went with the short measurement. So that's what I'm going to do. So how I got a line leveled on all these logs was I bought a $30 Black & Decker laser level for like in your house to check pictures and stuff to see if they're level. The laser was not very bright, especially in the daylight. It was very hard to go 12 feet and actually see the line. It took a little bit of screwing around to mount it, because I'm by myself, so I had to like mount it and get the laser pointed in the right direction by using my hand, catching the laser in my hand and lining it up with this. And then once I got it so it would stay there by itself with a nail, I came over here and I had to go back and forth trying to find that laser on my hand, and then shading my hand with my other hand, the sun, I was able to see the laser and get the lines drawn all over the logs. I would have used a water level on a tube, works really well too, but by myself, I think that would have been even more screwing around. With 2 people, it's really quick and it works great. But anyway, I hope this laser level worked. So I measured 2 feet back because that's what the overhang is going to be. If I tighten this up and then match my thumbs up, and then I take it apart, I put them together. So that's about the radius of that log then, the inside diameter. Looks a little high on the right. This one didn't fit as good as the last one, so I had to make a couple adjustments. Hopefully it'll be good now. Well, that's it for me, because when I just lifted that other side, I tweaked my back. Wouldn't you know it, huh? Lifting logs, weird. But I twisted when I lifted, and yeah, I can feel it already. It's tightening up, so we're done. Hopefully I won't be bad tomorrow. Problem is I don't have any spikes. I have 2 nails that the people we bought it from, they left 2 big nails. I could pin 1 nail on each side. Unfortunately, this side, these screws didn't get in to the post, so those won't be pinned. But as long as I pin the back side and this side is pinned, I could possibly get the back log put on tomorrow. But we'll see. I've had back problems before, but I kind of fix it with chiropractic. But I know when I'm going to have problems the next day, and I think I'm going to have a problem. This feels like it's tweaked pretty good, so oh well. I mean, I got to get the logs up there somehow. I can't get back in the tractor here and drop them. It would be too much screwing around. You just have to lift straight up, and I twisted. We got quite a bit done today, considering I started at 3 o'clock after the rain stopped. So depending on how my back feels tomorrow, which is not feeling real good now, I can get this log in the ground for the middle support and level and fill that in. And maybe this back beam, but honestly I don't see it happening. So I think I'm done for today. Go take a shower and go sit. Go watch a John Wayne movie and heal my back up. Nothing that Jack Daniels ibuprofen and time won't fix. Well, it's the next day. I was about to leave because I thought I ran out of bar oil, but I actually found some. I'm gonna get this log up on top. It's gonna be the back beam, and hopefully I can get this finished up today is my goal. I have to make 2 notches on the 2 side beams so it sits down, and then I'm also gonna have to cut this middle beam. So once I get the notches set and it drops in, it'll be right in front of that, and then I'll know how low I have to cut this, drop it, and hopefully it touches all 3 points. So I was able to get this log up here, but it's just barely fits. So I'm gonna try to roll it back without hurting myself. We'll see what we can do. My back hurts still, but it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So I'm just gonna take it slow and see if I can roll this log in the back without it dropping. All right, so that's that notch. Now we'll just flip it over and see what happens. See what happens on that middle part. The hope is that it rests on the middle part a little bit much, and then I'll roll it back over and then notch that middle section just enough and flip it over, and they'll all just fit nice and flush. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut those notches deeper so it sits down a little lower. All right, the first time wasn't great, so I deepened both notches. I put a small notch in there, very shallow, and then I deepened that notch, and it looks pretty good. I think it's good enough to use anyway. So that's touching, it's supported, and the other side is nested in there also. I went better than I thought. I thought I was going to be screwing around with this for a couple hours. I went with the thick end on this side because this side beam was skinnier, and this one was fatter on that end, the side beam. So then the skinny part on the back went on top of there. So hopefully all that compensated, and then I made a deeper notch here a little bit too. All right, I'm gonna call that good for today. Coming back up next week, me and my wife, and with her help, hopefully we can get the whole thing framed in, the ridge beam in and everything. I got these two support pieces cut. I'll have to notch those opposite each other because those will sit on top of this beam and then hold up the ridge beam. All right, so wait for that video in a couple weeks. But if you like these videos, press like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.